And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Satellite imagery here showing next storm down here, pushing clouds, wind, and rain into the Aleutians, spreading into the Alaska Peninsula here, and moisture now spreading up towards southwestern Kodiak Island, northward to the Pribilofs. So there's a few clouds even making landfall along the southwest coast. Mostly sunny, south central Alaska today. A lot of sun here at Cook Inlet into the Susitna Valley, Kenai Peninsula area, picking up some clouds here over the Copper River Basin, on up across the east side of the state there. Several bands of moisture tracking eastward along the Arctic coast. As you can see here, one coming onto the western coast now, this one exiting the area, and another one, cold front, back there over the Russian Far East. It'll be heading east as well. And just some clouds there over the southeast coast. On the chart today, you can see some sunshine, central and southern panhandle. Weak trough up here, bringing the clouds into the Copper River Basin and the North Gulf Coast, bringing some light shower activity with it, but nothing very significant at all. High pressure over the interior, keeping winds light, conditions dry again, south central Alaska, all the way up to the Arctic coast there. This weak trough bringing some areas of light precipitation up in the western Arctic coastal areas and into the western Brooks Range a little bit, but again, nothing significant. All the heavy weather is down here with that 967 millibar low here south of the east central Aleutians. Gusty winds as high as 50 miles an hour with gale warnings there from the central Aleutians on up and toward the Alaska Peninsula. Some rain trying to get into southwest Kodiak Island. Otherwise, high pressure, light winds, northern and western Bering Sea. And for tonight, you can see that cold front pushes eastward, brings another round of precipitation. Southwest winds ahead of that front should keep it warm enough for mixed precipitation. But higher elevations of the western Brooks Range, you'll probably see snow. Dry to the east here, dry in the central interior, some clearing there from the Yukon Delta, right up the river valley into the flats. Increasing clouds here, south central Alaska, with increasing chances of rain later tonight after midnight. Prince William Sound, south coast of the Kenai Peninsula. Rain and wind about sums it up for Kodiak Island, Bristol Bay, the Alaska Peninsula, and pretty good northerly winds here, possibly high as 50 to 60 miles an hour in gusts there on the west side of this. Slowly weakening now, 973 millibar low that's pulling east-northeastward. And then high pressure light winds back over the western Bering Sea, and a few lingering showers here over the northern panhandle, but light winds, dry conditions for the remainder of the southwest coast. Light winds also here for the interior. And then for the day tomorrow, Saturday, this low tracks northeastward, continues to slowly weaken, still at 978 millibars, but the gradient here relaxing somewhat from what it has been. And still tight enough here, that'll begin to push gale force winds into the Gulf of Alaska. Increasing wind and rain along the North Gulf Coast during the day tomorrow, with that'll push into Prince William Sound as well, but probably won't get into the Copper River Basin at all. And increasing chances of moisture there on the western slope, on the eastern slopes of the western Alaska Range, and periods of rain into the southern Kuskokwim Valley, Kuskokwim Delta, Bristol Bay, wet, but not as windy for Kodiak Island. Once that front gets up over the island there, winds will diminish, but periods of rain will continue throughout the day. Wet and windy for the eastern Aleutians. Dry with sunshine here over the central and northern interior. This cold front bringing snow into the western Arctic coast and Brooks Range. Mixed precipitation down across Kotzebue Sound into the Bering Strait, western Seward Peninsula. And then not much going on out to the west with high pressure from the Russian Far East there, extending all the way down into the western Bering Sea and Aleutians. And then the outlook for Sunday. No change out here to the west. Winds light and conditions dry. Maybe a few isolated showers into the central Aleutians on that northerly flow here on the eastern side of this ridge. And a little breezy, but not too strong on the winds here for the southwest coast. But a few showers likely, that wind picking up enough moisture for a few showers for the Pribilofs, east central Aleutians, into the Alaska Peninsula, but amounts will be pretty darn light with that. Chance of snow, central Brooks Range out to the eastern Arctic coast. Another trough coming eastward there, bringing an increasing chance of moisture late in the day Sunday, just a slight chance at this point. More likely that moving in on Sunday evening and night. And this front well into Canada now, and the low tracks eastward into the Gulf, weakening. Another low develops up here over the upper Tanana Valley 40-mile country. That'll begin to increase some moisture up there, but not until Sunday evening and Monday. Another trough will push another round of wetter conditions, but winds not all that strong there for the panhandle. Lows tonight down that way in the 40s for the most part. 20s eastern interior, warming into the 30s as you head west there toward the northern Bering Sea. And 30s south central Alaska, 40 for Homer, mid-40s Kodiak Island and Bristol Bay, as well as the Alaska Peninsula and the Aleutians, upper 40s for Shimia. And for the Arctic coast, lows in the upper 20s to mid-30s. Highs for tomorrow, 45 to 50 over the eastern interior and near 50 for south central Alaska, 55 for Kodiak, upper 40s to lower 50s Bristol Bay, and basically in the lower 50s for the Bering Sea and the Aleutians and Alaska Peninsula, upper 30s to lower 40s for the Arctic coast, and maybe near 50 on the North Slope, 30s for the Brooks Range. And then the lows on Sunday morning, right around 20 there in the central and eastern Brooks Range with near freezing for the Tanana Valley, 40-mile country, except Eagle down around 28, 30 for Northway, Tok, and those areas, 40s for the Panhandle again, and mostly in the 40s here, south central Alaska, mid-40s Kodiak Island and the Aleutians, Pribilofs near 40, upper 30s for the St. Lawrence Island area, and upper 20s, lower 30s for the Arctic coast, followed by highs in the mid-30s for the Arctic coast, lower 30s in the Brooks Range. South of the Brooks Range, all the way down to the North Gulf Coast in the 40s, maybe near 50 here for Anchorage, Seward, 52 for Homer, mid-50s Kodiak Island, and upper 40s to lower 50s for the southeast coast.